Everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's session, we will cover one of the most essential topics for building Java application, exception handling. Understanding how to proper manage errors and unexpected situations is crucial for creating programs that can handle runtime anomalies gracefully without crashing. We will cover the following key concepts: types of exception, checked versus unchecked, try, catch, finally, blocks, throw and throws keyword, creating custom exceptions. Okay, now let's move on to this. What is by exception handling? In programming, an exception is an event that disrupts the normal flow of a program. Exception handling allows you to define the response to unexpected events in your program, such as a user entering invalid data or file being inaccessible. Without proper exception handling, these situations can cause your program to terminate unexpectedly. Types of exception: checked versus unchecked. Checked exception. These are exceptions that are checked at compile time. If your code throws a checked exception, the compiler will force you to handle it. For example, checked exception are typically used when a program can recover from an issue. Example, file not found or database connection failure. Here, file not exception is a checked exception and compiler requires you to handle it. Unchecked exception. These are exceptions that are not checked at compile time but rather occur during runtime. Unchecked exceptions usually represent programming errors like logic flaws. These exceptions often indicate bugs or logical errors that need finding. In this case, array index out of bound exception is an unchecked exception because it is not checked by the compiler. We move on to try, catch, and final block. Try block. The try block contains the code that might throw an exception. Place your code that you think might cause an error inside the try block. Catch block contains code that handles the exception thrown in the try block. You can have multiple catch blocks to handle different types of exception. And finally, the final block is executed regardless of whether an exception occurred or not. It's commonly used for checkup, cleanup actions like closing files or releasing sources. Now let's move on to throw and throw keywords. Throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. You can throw either checked or unchecked exception. And throws keyword that is used to declare the method may throw an exception. This informs the calling method that it must handle or declare the exception. Here, the throw keyword is used to declare the read file method may throw an ID error message. Next, we move on to custom exceptions. Sometimes the predefined exception in Java don't cover specific situations that arise in your application. In such cases, you can create your own custom exception by extending the exception class or runtime exception class. Create a new class that extends exception for a checked exception or runtime for unchecked exception. Provide construct or initialize the exception message. In this example, invalid age exception is custom checked and navigate negative number exception is custom unchecked exception. Okay, let's wrap up all. Uh, Catch specific exception. Always catch the most specific exception rather than using a generic exception. Use finally for cleanup. Always use finally for cleanup resource like syncing files or database connections. Don't hesitate to throw exceptions when the program encounters invalid data or invalid state. And that's wrap up today video on exception handling in Java. We covered the difference between checked and unchecked exceptions, how to use try, catch, and finally and throws keyword, and even how to create custom exceptions. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Java tutorials. Thank you for watching.